This is the Mariners POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Seattle Mariners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Of course, Chris Crawford leaves me this game to go solo in. Of course he does. Leo Rivas! Let's go, boys! Small ball my ass. Let's go. That's what I like to see. Swinging away first pitch. Don't throw down the bunt. Oh, my God. There's so much to break down tonight. I don't even know where to start. That was fun. That was fun. I just don't know. I don't know. That could have been the most devastating loss of the season. But the St. Louis Cardinals just refused to take it. They had, as bad as the Mariners at-bats were in extra innings, the Cardinals were even worse. They just went 3 straight of nothingness. So Leo Rivas takes full advantage, certified baller. Leo Rivas and Emerson Hancock, those two tonight. Let's go. That's what we do. That's what we do here in Seattle. Man, they get the sweep. They win this one 4-2. I don't even know, man. I'm riding solo today. Chris Crawford had some stuff come up. We're thinking about him. He's in the hospital right now. So everyone, thoughts out to Chris, but I'm sure he's very excited watching this game. So man, what a game. It felt like we had 3 games all in one right there. Okay, we're going to talk about Logan's start, I guess, because that felt like it was 3 days ago. We'll talk about this offense. I honestly, after talking Logan Gilbert, since we always start with the start, we're going to jump right to extra innings because that's a whole game in itself. And then we'll kind of go from there. But I just want your guys' raw reaction, okay? The Mariners just battle and battle and battle. And every time it seemed like, God, all right, that was their chance. They're going to lose this one. They're going to be, 2.5 back of the Astros. It's just is what it is. I just don't know, man. They keep battling, and they could have easily just been okay with winning 2 out of 3 against the St. Louis Cardinals, but they weren't. There were a lot of decisions by Dan Wilson tonight that I actually want to commend. I know it's weird. As you guys know, I hate bunting. I just, I don't know. I liked the decision to pull Logan early. I love the usage of the bullpen tonight. You somehow get through 13 innings without using any of your high leverage arms is incredible. When Logan only goes 4 2/3, I think it was managed really well. Sans the bunting, I kind of have just accepted the fact that that's what they're going to do in certain situations. We'll talk about that in a second. But first of all, let's start with the start. I know it feels like just years ago, but Logan Gilbert tonight only gives up the 1 run. It's just, I don't know what it is. He's not throwing first pitches for strikes. He's not getting big counts turned into outs. Like when it's a 3-2 count, he's not getting the out. Too often it's a walk or and fortunately, besides the solo shot, he doesn't get burned by any of it, but his efficiency just isn't there right now. So that's something I think we can kind of keep an eye on with Logan Gilbert. It just seems like that's kind of what he's been all year long. So hopefully he can kind of figure that out before we get to later in the season, but we're already at the late point in the season. So you still find a way to get the dub tonight, which is huge. Offense was awful through the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 innings tonight. 4, I guess you could say 4 innings. And then, it just wasn't very good tonight. You get the sac fly from Dom Canzone and then nothing else for a long time until the 11th. I don't know. Just let's go right to extras. All right, let's go right to extra innings. Let's start it with the 10th because that's going to be something where we're going to see this situation more often than not this next couple years. I just want to point out a few things and we can kind of break it down based on the situation here. Luke Jackson comes in right at the top. Alec Burleson flies out. Wilson Contreras lines into a double play. That was weird with Ivan Herrera at second base, thinking there was 2 outs, running to third base. I don't know if he had juice on the Mariners, but we'll take it. They get through the 10th without allowing a run. Cole Young pops out. Cole Young pops out. Randy Arozarena singles. They intentionally walk Cal Raleigh to load the bases, and Julio Rodriguez strikes out. It was a bad at bat. I saw a stat today. It was weird. I was trying to find what I was looking for. Julio's 0 for 10 in extra innings this year. We'll talk about his second at bat later as well. When I saw that 98 go straight down the middle on the first pitch, and I saw Julio take it, I just was like, all right, he's not getting a hit. He's not getting on base. Like, I knew for a fact that wasn't happening because that's normally a pitch. And even if it is, and you saw it in the second at bat, he's normally in attack mode there, right? He's normally jumping on that. We've seen that a lot more recently. And I think that's what's given him a lot of success, but he doesn't. I don't know if he got the take sign. I asked Chris Crawford if that was something that may be into it. There's a possibility they gave him the first pitch to take there, and then they just threw 3 straight sliders, or 2 more sliders after that. It sucks. I get it. It seems like this is an all or nothing team right now, which it kind of is. But there's definitely some in between. Like for me, with the approaches tonight in extra innings, Luckbox, I really like what you said here. Bad base running by JP. He should have been able to score on the Randy single. I completely agree. Like they talked about it on the broadcast there. He has to wait to make sure the liner isn't caught, but he still was on his way back to the base. You can almost be in between just waiting. And then if it is caught, you can dive back and still be safe. But then if it isn't, you can start your run and you're halfway to third base already. You can round it and get home and score the winning run. I think he should have been able to score there. He's really slow, and B, that was not very good in instinctual play from JP Crawford. But Julio strikes out. And then Josh Naylor strikes out after that. Number 1, who was the guy that pitched for the Cardinals? Riley O'Brien. Dude was nasty. Like, we can say how bad the at-bats were, and that is true for the Mariners during the 10th and 11th inning. But Riley O'Brien was nasty at the same time. He was dotting him up. If you watch the overlay of the first pitch that I was talking about that Julio takes 98 down the middle, and then the 2 other sliders, it's out of the same exact tunnel. It's almost impossible to hit at that point. He was really, really good tonight. And they were talking about how good of a year he's had as well. Then you get to the 11th. Nolan Gorman grounds out. Sajazi hits a single. I think he had 4 hits tonight. Thomas Sajazi is the guy that's killing you from St. Louis. Wilson Contreras scores there. But then you get Pedro Pajas to strike out swinging, and then Eugenio Suarez makes a great play at third base. I thought he had a great defensive night. Not a good offensive night, but a great defensive night at third base with a cannon of a throw to get Jose Fermin out at first base to limit the damage to 1 run. Get to the bottom of the 11th. Jorge Polanco doubles. Just a great piece of hitting from Jorge. It's tied 2-2 at that point. Leo Rivas comes in for Polanco at second base. There's still no outs. Eugenio Suarez walks. And then you bring in Luke Raley to replace Victor Robles. And at the time, I kind of figured they would be going for the bunt, but obviously so did St. Louis. They were ready for it. They made sure that they tried to get the guy at third. I think that was Rivas at that point. Ended up not working. So you have bases loaded with nobody out when Luke Raley comes in. JP Crawford grounds out, and Cole Young grounds into a double play. We've talked about it multiple times. For those who complain about strikeouts, especially in the Cole Young at bat, it would have been better for Cole Young to strike out than do what he did there. Sometimes putting the ball in play can be a bad thing, right? And it's weird to think about it, but then you would have had one more opportunity to get it done. And it doesn't end up biting you because you still come back and win the game. But that's something where Cole Young looked terrible as well. You could almost hear Dave Valley on the broadcast being like, he was talking about the pitch to hit in that situation. He's got to get look for the ball up. Anything down, you can let go. Even if it's borderline, you got to take. And he's just swinging out of his shoes. He's not ready for it. He gets one off the end of his bat, and it doesn't look good. So he rounds in the double play to end the inning in the 11th with the still tied. You go through the 12th. Both teams just nothing offensively. I want to quickly shout out Emerson Hancock because he was awesome tonight. The dude was nasty. And this is where I think his role should be. When you need a couple innings emergency situation, whether your starter can't get out of the second, whether you're in extra innings and literally no one else is available, this is your game to go do. That's something where Emerson Hancock can step up and get the job done. He's like 97, 98 with a two-seamer. And he was really, really good tonight. Granted, St. Louis didn't have very good at-bats either. Like, everyone's obviously we're talking about the Mariners here, but St. Louis's extra innings at-bats were awful as well. So you should throw that into the thought process in the blender as well. Bottom 12. Randy Rosarena lines out. They walk Cal Raleigh again to get to Julio Rodriguez, who strikes out again. Josh Naylor flies out for 3 outs. Like I said, Julio's 0 for 10 with, I think, I was looking at his stats. He's had 11 plate appearances, but only 10 ABs, and he doesn't have a walk. So I guess they gave him a sacrifice when he moved a runner over or something like that. But he has not gotten a hit in extra innings. It's a weird situation, and it's not even a high leverage thing with Julio because I think he's actually been really good in big situations coming to stretch. It's extra innings for whatever reason. He seems to have a completely different approach at the plate. I think that'll come with age, but we'll that's just something. That's the one missing piece in Julio Rodriguez's game right now is the big moments, right? He still has his explosions of games, but he needs a moment. He still doesn't really have a signature moment as a Mariner. So that's kind of what is going to be the next step for him in his development. We got to remember he's still only 24. Still plays elite center field defense, and he does the job. Like he's still your second or third best hitter on your team. But he just needs a little bit more of a cooler head in those moments. And it's so easy to say, me sitting in my chair here, and he's the one that's trying to get the job done. But it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Top 13, Emerson Hancock's there again. Just plows through their lineup. Alec Burleson lines out. Wilson Contreras grounds out. Nolan Gorman flies out. You come to the moment, maybe the moment of the year so far. Especially considering how weird this game was, and you kind of needed to win it. Honestly, it feels weird to say that you've already won the series. It's against a St. Louis team that's in the National League. They're way out of the playoffs. And this is just for the sweep. But considering what everyone else is doing in the American League right now, I think it's fair to say the Mariners needed to win this game. They absolutely needed to. And Leo flippin' Rivas is the one to get it done. Screw your small ball. I'm not putting a bunt down. I know we just need one run. I'm swinging away. First pitch. Get that out of here, he says. And it was cranked. Good for him. Love to see it. I've been a huge fan of his ever since he's been here. I think he needs to play every day. He's been so good. His at-bats are fantastic. He takes the walk when you need him to. Just fantastic piece of hitting from Leo Rivas. All right, I've rambled a little too much here. Once again, this is your Mariners postcast. Anderson Hirst, Chris Crawford is out today. Might be out for the next couple days. He's in the hospital. We're sending him our thoughts and prayers. Really appreciate everything he does for this awesome channel. Let's give some love to our sponsors. Then we'll go through our unsung. I'm not going to get to every moment in this game. There's just not enough time. And I honestly don't remember anything that happened before the extra innings. So any of your comments, who is your unsung hero? Who is your unsung villain? There's so many good options today. We'll chat about that on the other side of the break here on the Mariners postcast. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. FanDuel is awesome. I just love their app. It's the easiest to see every bet that you want to place. You can go specifically to a game, find all the prop bets in that direction. If you're a live bettor, you can it's super easy to refresh everything. With all these betting sites, you can find some janky lines where it doesn't refresh very fast because they have to update the whole site every once in a while. FanDuel is super quick and easy, and it's the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. You've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, sure, like that actually works. There are so many products out there, and it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. And it's not just hype. This is a supplement clinically tested that targets the root causes of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. If you know someone who's taken Nutrafol, ask them. They will tell you how good it is. I don't know anyone that's used it because I'm a little on the younger side, but I know for those people, once you get a little past the age where your hair, you're used to seeing it, it can be a big thing for people. And I think, honestly, I'm a soccer player. I take my hair completely seriously. So any time where I feel weird about that, I'm going to be going straight to Nutrafol. See thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Locked On MLB. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Locked On MLB. Oh boy, there's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person, but actually getting the tickets, that's the tough part. Boy, if you were there live tonight, you saw a doozy of a game. But waiting in line, long login screens, surprise fees that you don't know are going to be there until right before you check out. It takes the fun out of buying tickets. And that's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. It's fast, easy, backed by the Gametime guarantee. You get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time, fast, at the best price. Plus, the biggest thing for me, this is huge, all the fees are included. So the price you see is the price you pay. I can't tell you how many times I've gone and bought tickets for concerts or games. And I'm like, okay, I've spent $50 on tickets. Oh, wait, there's an extra $20 in fees. What? And then I go back and try and find something cheaper because I only have a budget. This is where Gametime is awesome. Their fees are included. So everything you're looking at is exactly the price you'll pay. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. Welcome back to the Mariners POSTCAST. Anderson Hirst here. We only have a couple minutes left because I rambled at the beginning of the show. A lot of really good chats. I'm sorry it's hard for me to get to it as I'm going solo, but I want to know what you guys think. Who is your unsung hero? You could go Leo Rivas if you really want to, but he's the hero. A big one is Emerson Hancock. I thought Gabe Spire pitched well. Caleb Ferguson pitched well. Jose Castillo pitched well. You got 3 straight lefties. Remember earlier in the season when we only had one left-handed reliever available, and it was Gabe Spire? Having 3 guys that you feel semi-good about right now. And I know Caleb Ferguson's had some clunkers, and Jose Castillo literally just got claimed off waivers, but I felt good about what I saw from him tonight. I'm just going the whole bullpen, to be honest. And yes, Leo Rivas is the big hero from this game with the walk-off home run. But man, you don't win this game without this bullpen. You don't even get to that point without this bullpen. Logan Gilbert goes 4.2 innings. You need better from him. But I'm thinking 8 innings? 8 and a third innings from your bullpen, that is crazy. 8 1/3 innings from your bullpen. That in a normal game, that's if your starter gets one out. Okay. That is how big they were today. It's so important. And you didn't have to use guys 3 days in a row. They talked about it on the broadcast. Munoz has gone 2 days in a row. Eduardo Pizarro has gone 2 days in a row. And you got 2 days in a row from Matt Brash. So not having to use one of those guys for 3 days in a row. And that's something in general that I've noticed. And we could talk about it with Logan as well. I think this pitching staff's getting tired, to be completely honest. You saw 94 from Logan in terms of velocity tonight. It's just, I think it's just getting to that point of the year where you got to dig deep. You're not going to get the full 7 innings. I know Brian Woo's still throwing 6 innings of 9 strikeout baseballs. He always does, but it's just the bullpen picking up its end of the bargain, man. The last 2 nights, even especially so. Man, and that's something where I feel like most Mariner fans feel like the bullpen is the weakness of the team. I don't even know if you can say that anymore. I feel really good about where we're at right now, bullpen-wise. Spire's been good. Ferguson's bounced back in a big way the last couple nights. Luke Jackson did well, and man, Emerson Hancock, good for you, man. Good for you. For a starter for your entire life, he was touted as one of the bigger prospects, comes up, has a pretty up and down time as a starter, goes back to AAA. You get the call from Jerry DiPoto or Justin Hollander or whoever to be like, hey, you can come back up to the big leagues, but we're going to need you in the bullpen. Is that something you're willing to do? Takes it on the chin and is like, yes, absolutely. I want to make an impact for the Seattle Mariners in a playoff run. I don't care if it's in the bullpen. And he was excellent today. So I'm going to go Emerson Hancock for my unsung hero. A lot of good moments too, though. I think the defense stepped up in a big way as well. Without defensive plays, a lot of those pitching lines look a lot different. J.P. Crawford had a couple great plays at short. I know Chris has criticized his shortstop play of late, and I agree with him. But he made some big plays. Gino with a couple good plays as well. Josh Naylor at first. Are you kidding me? Dude, I didn't even realize he was this good of a defensive player. Comes to the Mariners and all of a sudden looks like the best first baseman I've seen since John Olerud in terms of defense. Wow. I didn't know that he had that in his bag. As they say, I was unfamiliar with your game. But just a huge win for the Mariners today, because if they would have dropped this game, you're looking at 2 games behind the Astros. Rangers are just a half game behind you at this point, if they lost, of course. You're staring third place in the AL West in the mouth. So I think it's really important that the Mariners pick this one up. You can tell there's a sense of urgency with this group right now, and I really enjoy it. And as much as I've criticized Dan Wilson throughout the entire year, I think almost every one of his decisions tonight was really good. I'm not a fan of the bunting, but I've just kind of accepted that that's kind of what they're going to do in those situations. And honestly, it's not going to be a big moment for me that I'm not going to berate it too much, because if there is one time to bunt, it's when it's a tie game in extra innings and you're the home team. You literally only need 1 run. You don't have to play for the big inning, move the guy over. I still think, there's a way to move the guy over without bunting, and you have the possibility of ending the game right then and there if you swing away. We saw that with the Cardinals and how they scored their run in extra innings. They grounded it to first base, but it moved them over. You don't have to bunt to move the guy over, all right? But it is what it is. I've kind of accepted it at that point. But all the bullpen decisions tonight, fantastic from Dan Wilson. I'm very impressed. All right. I don't even know what else to say. Who do you guys think unsung hero, unsung villain? I'm going to look up the probable pitchers for tomorrow really quick while I'm checking out some of your guys' chats. Again, really appreciate everyone hanging out with us today. It's so fun to be here in the Mariners Postcast. Like the video if you haven't already. We got the Angels tomorrow at 6:40 at home. Bryce Miller versus Jose Soriano. I need a bounce back effort from Bryce Miller. I do. Not that he was awful in his last couple outings from coming off the IL, but especially considering how tired this bullpen is right now, we need at least 5, hopefully 6 from him. So that would be huge if he was able to do that. Prayers up to Chris Crawford. He's in the hospital right now. I hope he's okay. We're sending him our thoughts and prayers. So that's why I'm going solo tonight. Appreciate you guys sitting through me. I know I yelled in your ears a few times, but what a big win for your Seattle Mariners. They get the sweep against the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow after the Mariners game against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Let's go get it. Let's keep it going, guys. We're in a pennant race right now. I need as much energy as we possibly can. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Go Mariners.